Join us for a driving review of the BMW X5. Well, when you are with a car on the beach, it gets dirty quite easily, but we already had some clear shots we took earlier for you. Here in this new generation, the X5 has a bigger front double kidney, but from the X7, the bigger brother, is even bigger. We also show you that on Autogefühl. You can check out that review. Those headlamps here, they come with LED standard, optional adaptive LED. And those ones here are the top laser light. 4.92 meters, 16'1" or 194 inches is the length of the BMW X5. Just a couple of centimeters longer than the predecessor of the generation. And the all-new X7 is about 23 centimeters longer, the bigger brother. The wheels here come from 18 to 22 inch. Those ones 21 inch. In an M style. Really cool, really sporty, look great, especially also with this color. And the rear perspective, I really like the design here. Those tail lamps are sculptural, have a 3D look, also with the LED signature. X5 badge right there. And this one here is the 50i, the V8, and still has those fake exhaust tips, but the real exhausts are on the inside. So what do we have here? The 4.4 liter V8 in the 50i, 462 horsepower. That's still massive. Also here with those additional struts, the twin power turbo. Here with the Hofmeister kink design element also at the inside of the doors. Matte door finish is really cool. Then also those buttons here are all automatic, of course. Then some leatherette being used here at the inside of the door. Then is also a sporty M-line interior, also with the M steering wheel. Some bright finish around it. There's also a heated function available if you want that, with an easy button at the steering wheel. Then the seats, they start as base from CenterTech, at least in the US, in black and beige. So good also to have those choices there, so you can get the leatherette. This one here is the optional animal skin package. This is probably one of the most beautiful side interior getting in shots we've ever done. Marvelous, right? So, well, getting in is easy, although the front door doesn't open that wide. I'm 1m86 or 6'1", and that leaves me still some decent headroom, although this one here is equipped with a panoramic roof. Interior overview, it's very nice and clean. As for the design, 2 screens, 12.3 inch, left instruments, right side infotainment system. Then this glossy wood cover we have here, but there's also different trims available. You can get different wood styles also. Then there's a CenterTech leather red dashboard all the way over, wrapped tightly, very beautifully done. In the X7 there's also the same one, but then there it's a little bit more plush when you feel it, but just a minor difference. Then those digital instruments, here, let's light them up. And on the right side you have the RPM meter going counterclockwise. Coolest position to film the head-up display together with some birds and right on the beach. And you have the current speed, the allowed speed will appear there, and also some GPS route informations, again, if your route is running. And the rest of the infotainment system here, zoom in and out with the central control knob, right here at the beach. Very beautiful, but you can also use it as a touchscreen and it's really responsive. The software solution is great. The menu structure can sometimes be a little bit complicated. Here in the car menu you can check your consumption, for example, or also have those sport displays with a G-force meter, and the Apple CarPlay connection would be wireless. Then up close again with this unit here, left lower part for the seat heating, and then there's a separate climate unit with the screens. In the lower part you can slide open that one here. Then you have the inductive charging pad for your phone. Oh, schmoozy greetings. My cat, one of my 2 cats. Then there's a normal USB port right there. If you have the air suspension, it also will change the air suspension 4 centimeters up or 4 centimeters down, depending on the situation. There will also be an air suspension button right there to rule that one. And now the rear compartment. Well, it's a long vehicle already. Don't forget the shoe tab, especially when you're on the beach, but still the sand will get anywhere. So, and of course I do fit here as a tall adult and have some room in front of my knees, but still, considering the length of the vehicle, the package is poor. That's one of the problems. You don't have too much legroom right there. Then let's take a look inside. This top roof cover, well, here it's a little bit wobbly. You can also optionally get a 7-seater version for the X5, but it doesn't make too much sense in my opinion. That one would be rather for the X7 then. The trunk length here is about 1 meter. Also got my measuring stick right here, and also about 1 meter in width, a little bit more even, so a little bit more than 1 meter in width. Well, and we're starting here with some city cruising or some neighborhood cruising, where this car can be very calm. This V8 is, full of performance, but then again, it can also be driven very calmly, because this V8, the big displacement and a lot of power, also gives you a lot of confidence that you can just control the throttle very gently. So that's also very fine. You really can just, play with it a little bit. And that's actually what I like about the V8 even more than just the pure performance. Of course, you can live out that too, 4.7 seconds. Interesting really that it's 0.7 seconds faster than it is in the X7 with the very same engine. So this car is of course a little bit lighter, a little bit shorter than the X7. That also plays a role then in the performance. Also consumption-wise, by the way, very interesting. So here we have about 30 liters on 100 kilometers. That's about some. Let me check out this refueling station here. Yeah, it's about 18 mpg in US and about 22 mpg in the UK. Yeah, I mean, it's a V8, yes. You have to be aware of that. You have more fuel consumption then. However, if you want some better consumption, then you would go for the inline 6-cylinder petrol engine. Then you always save about like 2 to 3 liters compared to the V8, and it's like 4, 5, 6 mpg more in this case. However, the V8, of course, just gives you this very growling sound, but you only hear that when you really hammer the throttle. So you have to know for yourself if it's worth the extra consumption, the extra price you pay, and also less range if you drive it. So at the moment in the comfort mode here, really comfortable still, and also interesting that whereas we've been driving the air suspension in the very first BMW X5 driving review, we have the normal suspension here. It's still adaptive, but it doesn't have the air component, so we cannot pump it higher or lower. And it's a very good suspension, no doubt. Where do you feel difference to the air suspension? When you're going over some bumps or some humps, then you actually feel that the air suspension gives you more comfort. So you can, without a problem, buy an X5 without the air suspension. You still will be satisfied. But this carpet ride, which is still from the air suspension set a little bit stiffer than in the X7, you only have that with the air suspension. So if you are buying a vehicle in this price range and at this size, I can only recommend to go for an air suspension. It's surely one of those options that is really worth it to go for. Some acceleration? Let's go. That was 0 to 50 miles. So like to 0 to 85, 90 kilometers. And wow. Pretty cool. And the all-wheel drive, it's a permanent all-wheel drive, still has a good distribution. It has a rear-wheel bias. And now you also heard the V8 sound more in action. And well, this is one of the very rare cases where you can use this acceleration also for safety, so to say, because I was parking at the side here of the Pacific Coast Highway, and then I wanted to get on the road, and a lot of cars were coming from behind, and I could get up to speed pretty early. And so if you are discussing with your wife if you should go for a fast vehicle, you could say, all for safety reasons, that in some situations I can have a good acceleration just for safety, just for safety. So yeah, might be an argument. Wow, that went quick. Nice. Well guys, it's been a lot of fun to drive with you together through Los Angeles, up the highway number 1, and also here at Pismo Beach near the Oceano Dunes. Really been a great trip. I hope you enjoyed it as well. The BMW X5, I think in design, a very likable SUV. It's strong in the front, but I think they have a beautiful, let's say, it is a conservative design. Yes, they did not do too many experiments, but I think it just works for this vehicle. The interior has been upgraded in the interior quality massively. That's really cool. So they have a great build quality. They have also sensor tech options if you want an animal-friendly option. And it just works out well in the interior. Now with the new voice recognition, you also have more infotainment usage there. The only thing is that you don't have too much rear legroom. That is one of the downsides of this interior. A little bit better than with the BMW X7. However, that one is of course also longer. You can compare the driving reviews there too. Driving wise, one of the most fun big SUVs. Really nice. The base suspension also just does fine. However, for this segment, I always recommend an air suspension to have a softer, more air carpet ride. But here still the X5 sets a sportier note as for the air suspension too. The V8, a lot of fun. Yeah, that's clear. However, the consumption is also quite high, so you have to be aware of that. The diesel will give you a better range. This one then here for the most confidence in driving. What do you think? Tell me your opinion on the all-new BMW X5, and also tune in to our other episode of the X5 and also to our episode of the X7. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this one here, and we'll go into the sunset now.